Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com's Facebook and WTIM TV YouTube, brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville. You always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust. They put people first. I have Ryan Brown and Kathy Fergan in studio right now. They're here to talk about the Taylorville High School Performing Arts and Sports Complex that's due to start construction here in the near future. Great to have you both on the program.
Thank you for having us.
Glad to be here.
Awesome. So real quick, let's start off to the left. Coach Brown, obviously, you're coach of the Taylorville basketball program, and this is going to serve everybody in a way, right? But tell me a little bit about how this will serve you and your basketball program.
Well, basketball program wise, it's always difficult to, juggle the practice schedules for the teams. There's a lot of times where you end up getting practices done at 9:00 at night, for just different levels and that kind of thing. For us, we've never been able to really efficiently practice our freshmen through our 12th graders together. So, from a basketball standpoint, like your question's asking, sometimes it can feel a little disjointed when you go from, one level to the next, when you go from freshman and then our JV and then our, varsity level basketball team. So there is that feel from the basketball side of it. We would love to be able to practice after school, get our kids home. We have a huge square mileage. Our district is just ginormous, from all the way up to 10 Mile and Auburn and Langleyville. That's quite a drive, or over that way. So, getting these kids home in a reasonable time, get them some time with the families, especially for those, long drive communities. That's important to us too. For the younger levels, we really don't have a home base for our youth program. St. Mary's does a little program in January. We do a little bit of work with our TYS group over in Stonington. But, like I said, it's just it's this program, it's that program. YMCA does a little bit too. We're really looking to make more of a home base for our youth programs. And then, beyond that, the athletic complex is going to serve our community better. I don't think it's any secret that Bruce Berry is, during his tenure here as being a mayor in town, he's really wanting to add, a hotel, get a chain hotel in here and try to ramp up some tourism dollars. And that's kind of where, we've had some talks with J.I. McDowell and Angelo's and those kind of guys. Those guys are really for this. You can bring in some weekend tournaments. My son plays travel basketball. We're traveling all over the Midwest and just seeing hundreds of basketball players on the weekends, and we're eating, supper in town or staying in hotels and that kind of thing. And it's just big dollars that, you can bring in town from a tourism standpoint if you start hosting tournaments, if you have the facilities for that. So it's great for, tax money to, bring that new money into town that, we've never really been able to tap into regularly, I should say. So, we have our town festivals and those things are fantastic. And our downtown is, completely rejuvenated even from when I moved here 7-8 years ago. So, the school could help that situation here if this complex is what we hope it to be.
Right. Kathy, tell me a little bit about what this will serve you in the performing arts and fine arts facet of this project, because this is a big part of it too. Many haven't had something like this for decades, even to be able to have for a performing arts center. So tell me a little bit about how this will serve you in your department.
Very excited to actually have a auditorium for children to perform and have their skills shown off in. For years, we have been doing our musicals in a gymnasium. Everyone knows how uncomfortable the metal chairs are. It is not a great place to have a musical. However, I even performed on that stage years and years ago. So we are able to have wonderful productions, but the thought of actually having an auditorium excites so many. And the children of our district deserve something better. And I'm really excited that it is going to happen. We will actually have dressing rooms. with makeup mirrors. We will have prop storage areas, a shop room where we can build sets. The other thing that's been really hard to manipulate is the small wing space that we have in the East Gym. So when you're trying to bring out a set, things just have to pile up on each other in the back, and the set pieces sometimes are very cumbersome trying to get on stage. So the thought of having wing space is just thrilling. We can have the band contests, band performances in our auditorium, choir performances. And again, they have contests too, just like the sports would have competitions. We have that too annually. So how nice it would be to have them singing or playing their instruments on a real stage with the proper acoustics, proper sound system, proper lighting. So,
yeah. And Coach, you're nodding your head just a little bit there when she talked about the tightness of that East Gym.
Yeah.
I mean, sports wise, I'm sure you can relate too.
Yeah. I mean, quite frankly, it's not safe. We really have to watch, what we're doing within that space. That baseline is, right next to the wall. It's, I mean, just something simple as 2-line layups, hey, Bryce Frederick, hey, just slow down just a little bit through there. Some of our really good athletes that have come through during the years, like, oh, we're going to ease it back here, just notch it. And I mean, I think and Kathy can agree with this. It's, she does a fantastic job, and our coaches do a great job, but you just feel a little limited because of facilities. And, you could really grow your fine arts program if you had a little bit better facility. You could grow your athletic program if you had a little bit better athletic complex there. And for schools our size, it's almost like, and I said this at the beginning there, when this started to pick up some momentum, we need to kind of keep up with the Joneses a little bit too. Williamsville is building a spectacular facility. Rochester already has, what they've done over there. You look at other communities outside of Springfield, and we're behind for a school our size. So, it comes from, yes, we need an auditorium. Yes, we need a bigger field house, but yes, we need to do things to make this community attractive so people want to move in and make this a viable place to, live out in the country a little bit further away from Springfield or Decatur. But, you're not going to have that if you don't have a facility that pops, that you can sell, that looks good on the eye test.
Right. Kathy, what would the high school performer in you, how would they react if they were told that they're going to receive an auditorium that they would be able to perform on back whenever you performed? How would that person back then react now? If you get what I'm saying, like if you as a high schooler found out you were going to have this new auditorium.
Right. Well, they probably, as alum, would come back and want to perform Hello Dolly again on the new stage, even though we're all old. Absolutely just exciting. It gives the performer it's like when you put the costume on after weeks of rehearsal. Once they get in costume, they really become the role.
Right.
So on an auditorium, they're going to really get into their roles.
Yeah. And this is very anecdotal, I suppose, and it didn't even really happen in this situation, but sometimes you feel tension between fine arts and sports and at times. And I didn't ever throughout this process ever really feel that. It's been a very collaborative effort. I guess what can you guys say about that? What does it mean to you guys to be able to work together to create something amazing?
Well, we have to work together. We have to work together. It's the best thing for all students. We haven't touched on the Tommy Tornado and the TV studios, and that's going to be a part of all of this project also, to give those students a wonderful opportunity. We're building new classrooms for the special needs students. They're going to be bigger and better. We're touching so many students' lives with this project.
Yeah, I think we would both be I don't know. I think just for us, like working together for the better of the community, we know that we need a better auditorium. We know we need better gym space or a new weight room, which is just borderline disgusting. But, I think we both know we need those things. And, Kathy's had kids that played sports. I have my youngest daughters in the fine arts. So, it's the coach in me wants the biggest, baddest facility for athletic complex, but I want something great for my daughter too, So I think that's, Lee Matier's daughters are involved in the fine arts. Coach Odom
Yeah.
on the football side, his daughter Ava is
We're together.
is in the fine arts. So, and even, Mr. Hadley, Jason Hadley, his daughter dances and those kind of things. So, so many of our sports minded people that kind of get labeled at this are really interested in the auditorium as well too. So I think that helps immensely, when you have kind of, well-rounded people that are, really pushing this.
Right.
Extracurricular activities.
Overall,
I
whatever that means.
The kids have to have that. That's just a vital part of their education.
Yeah.
And I have smelled the weight room. It's nasty.
Secondhand. There's a second opinion right there. Well, real quick before we head into a timeout, what's the timeline look like for the construction of this project? I hear we're aiming for 2024 for finish.
Correct. So
yeah, and I think the first big landmark date is that December board meeting when we get the bids back. So that's when, we've got a dollar amount that we need. We don't have it right now. We're going to need some help fundraising wise. I don't think there's any doubt about that. We're going to need some help. So when those black and white numbers come out with, hey, this is how much the concrete's going to cost, and this is how much the steel's going to cost, I think that will firm up how much we're going to need fundraising wise. We've got a great chunk of it right now. Otherwise, this wouldn't even be a topic of discussion.
Right.
But we're to get where we want to get, the 490, 500 seat auditorium, and to get the 3 basketball courts, volleyball courts, we're definitely going to need some help. So when those bids come in December, that will definitely lay it all out there.
All right. Well, that's Ryan Brown along with Kathy Fergan. They're talking about the Taylorville High School Sports Complex and Fine Arts Auditorium here on the WTIM Morning Show. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust. They put people first. More from them after this short timeout here on WTIM, your information station.
WTIM. information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark and people's bank and trust. They put people first. Well, I have a couple of folks talking about the Taylorville High School Fine Arts Auditorium and Sports Complex. That includes Ryan Brown and Kathy Fergan. And Coach Brown talked a little bit about it beforehand. We're going to need a little bit of fundraising to make this happen. Obviously, we don't really know where we are in that until we get the bids back in December with the board meeting. But I wanted to get your where your thoughts were a little bit, Kathy. Actually, first, before we get into that, you have an announcement to make. I almost neglected. You have an announcement to make coming up for this spring.
Yes.
For the Fine Arts program. So let's talk about that for a second.
Just would like to announce that our high school musical this year will be Annie. Most people are familiar with that one. And it will be held on March 16th through the 18th. And after that next week, the East Gym will be knocked down. And none of us will shed a tear.
I was going to say, you sound I sense the excitement in your voice, not just for the musical, but for...
Yes, what the future will bring.
Yeah.
And we'll have 1 year that we'll have to find an alternative place. We're thinking we're going to do a smaller cast musical in 2023. And then 2024 will be in the new auditorium.
Right. Because the way I understand plan as of now, right, so we still got to get this. Let me preface this with this is at this point by nature speculative, but by that point, 2023 we'll be constructing,
Right.
And then hopefully by 2024 this thing will be ready to go, and basketball will have a place to practice. There will also be the auditorium. Something that you also mentioned a little bit here, Kathy, in the beginning of the segment. You mentioned how Tommy TV, they're receiving new space, and there are new classrooms for special needs students. What kind of, in your knowledge, what kind of stuff will this allow Tommy TV to be able to do? If you are inclined to speak on that at all.
Well, a little bit. I just think
Go
that
ahead.
their space is going to be larger, and they'll have definitely better acoustics. The green screen that you use in production, I don't know a whole lot about that, but they are going to take the level of what we all love it and think it's wonderful, but they're going to be able to raise to a whole new level with all the new innovative things that they're going to have in their new studios.
Right. What's the classroom situation like right now for special needs students?
Well, I just think they needed some more space. I think one of the restroom is at the end of the hallway. And that was the thing where they wanted those closer and just activities of daily living more so in a condensed area with the classrooms so that the teachers can help right in that area.
Right.
Not going up and down a hallway.
Hey, I need your help in this classroom right next door.
Yeah.
Rather than running up and down.
Yeah.
as you
Yes.
mentioned. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it becomes a necessity because, you're tearing down the East Gym, you're tearing down the East Wing, so you're tearing down, their classrooms.
Yeah.
And then, so that would also be the, what we call the floor and a half, where Tommy's studio is, and then where our new district offices are there on the second level. So all that is going to be eliminated. So we have to build back.
Right.
And then, even for that, let's do better for our special needs kids, so that's kind of what she was talking about there with, let's make better facilities for them too.
Briefly here, we're running out of time. I'm, maybe have 20 seconds here. What's the one thing you guys want to leave people with here before you go?
Just to, we're lucky that the superintendent, the school board has been fiscally responsible with these monies. And we don't have to do a referendum, which no one wants, but we will be asking the community to support this and help us in any way when we do start announcing fundraising or community outreach, please, because this is great for not only our kids, for Taylorville, for where we live. And this will take our education higher for these kids.
Kathy Fergan along with Ryan Brown. Thank you both so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.